Hello and welcome to day 165 in this quest for a 2000 rapid rating on chess.com. So let's find an opponent and begin here. All right. We're at a new high, 1705. So let's see what happens today. We're playing a 1727. All right. So I'm going to start with d4. And we'll try and set up the Jabava London system here. All right. So they decide to attack. All right. If I recall, it can be good to attack here. So, all right. Well, normally you don't want to move a piece twice in the opening. But I think it's good to knock this out here. But that does help them develop their bishop. But I'm ahead in development, so we'll just go ahead and capture that. Then we can develop our other bishop here. All right. Well, now there is a threat there. So let's go ahead and develop. That prevents him from attacking. All right, now what do we do here? Oh, we could push our knight up. But if we do that, yeah, why not? Why don't we just push our knight up, prevent him from pushing his pawn forward? Because at the moment, well, he can't push it forward yet. All right. He could try and attack us. Do I push this pawn to prevent him from going after my bishop pair? That is a possibility. All right, we'll do that. That gives our bishop an escape hatch as well. All right. Let's see. Well, now we can attack that knight over there. So we might as well do that. The knight is unprotected, so we can go after that knight. All right, we'll go after the knight. Okay, they moved their bishop, so now if we attack, they just have to move that bishop again. And then we can castle. So, do we take the knight? That's the question. We'll knock that knight out of there. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and castle. All right. Okay, so now what do we want to do with our queen? And this knight. Do we drop the knight back, covering this square? Or do we let them move forward and attack us? Could push this pawn. All right, what is best here? What do you think we should do? Well, our development is even, I guess. We do have these bishops lined up here. So, do we try and pin the knight to the queen? But then we're moving a piece again. Probably need to just develop my... Well, if I try to develop the queen, there's not much she can do. Do I push this pawn, the A pawn, then threaten to push the B pawn and attack here? Do I develop a rook? That is the question. All right. Probably need to push the C pawn. Then I'd have to move my knight out of the way. Because I'm worried about this C pawn on the open file. All right, now I'm just burning up way too much time. So what can we do? Develop our queen, maybe. But if we go there, it blocks our bishop. So maybe we go here. But then, all right, I'm just going to go there. Prevent that pawn from chasing my knight away. Because I don't want his knight jumping into this outpost. If he jumps there. Okay, so there he is, going after that. All right, do we push the bishop away? Maybe. Maybe we just push the bishop away. But then that'll create a weakness, this pawn on the open file. All right, maybe we push up here. Man, a little tricky here. So the problem is he jumps in here, and then this is going to become unprotected. So what can we try to do? If we chase his bishop, that gives us a little bit of time while he's running. All right, I'm just burning up way too much time there. Okay, so now, um, hmm. All right, what next? What next? Um, just drop back there. Threaten. Would be nice to try and get a knight in here. I don't know. Now I have this backwards pawn on an open file, which is not so good. All right. Well, let's go after his bishop pair. Okay, he avoids that. And now, um, what can we do here? What can we do? Um, we'll go there, just attack his knight. Okay. Well, hmm. All right, now we could drop back with our knight and protect. But I don't know if I like that because then his queen will just add to the pressure. So, all right, we're just going to do that. We'll just knock that out. It does help him develop his queen, though. And then his pawns are going to start trying to run. Oh, but we can drop our knight back and then establish our knight on this outpost. So that's good for us. So we'll get a knight up here. All right. All right. I don't know what he's thinking about. He has to capture with his queen. So if he captures with the queen, I can drop my knight back, put my knight up on this outpost. All right. I don't know what he could be thinking about. Maybe he's debating whether to push his e pawn up and attack my knight. You know, here and here maybe. I mean, I'm going to drop back. You know, drop my knight to here and then reposition it up on the outpost, attacking his bishop. But, you know, blocking his rook off. But he does have two central pawns to my single pawn in the center. What could he be looking at here? I don't know. The only thing I can think of that would be taking any time is if he's thinking about pushing his e-pawn and attacking my knight, but then we could just take it with the bishop and, you know, go up a pawn. So, I mean, there's nothing to think about, I don't think. He just has to go here and capture with his queen. Look for checks, captures, and threats. You know, before your move, you know, all the time. So, are there any checks? There's no way he can check me. Captures. He has to capture that bishop to keep material even. I don't know. I mean, the clock is still ticking down, so, you know, unless something happened and my opponent had to leave. All right, well, that's fine with me if he wants to burn off some of his time, because I only have 7 minutes and he has 11. Okay, so if he captures here, then I guess I should drop my knight back to b3, reposition it up to the outpost. But then he's going to have these pawns running down through the center of the board. And he does have a bishop lying down here towards my king side. So, you know, if he brings a queen out, moves his knight, brings a queen out here and lines up on my king, you know, if the queen goes out to here and the bishop is lined up that way, that could be an issue. All right. Yeah, I'm really surprised. I don't know what my opponent is doing to take this long. Okay, my rooks. Where do I need to keep them? And you know, I need to get this the knight repositioned to the outpost to block his rooks from coming in. Oh, and then also I would be attacking his bishop, which is protecting the pawn. All right. Maybe he got tired of playing because if we look at the moves, I had maybe 5 moves where I took a while. Like I took over 2 minutes on one move, which and decided to play A3. You know, that was a lot of wasted time there. Hmm. And my opponent has been moving fairly quickly. His longest move was 31 seconds. Okay, if he captures my bishop, what am I going to do? Well, do I drop my knight back immediately and block here by jumping onto the outpost on c5? Or should I develop my queen? All right. I don't know. Now I have more time than my opponent. Oh, now he's having connection problems, so poor connection. Huh. Well, we'll wait and see if my opponent makes a move or not. Okay. His logical move would be to capture my bishop here. So if he captures my bishop, what am I going to do? And what is his king doing? Or excuse me, his queen. Lining up towards my king side. If the queen ends up there, he'll be aimed that way. What could we do then? I don't know. I'm still thinking about that plan of dropping my knight back to here, jumping up here and attacking his bishop and pawn at the same time. I mean, he could protect with the rook. But then his pawns are going to be able to start pushing forward here. And I have to be careful about that. So, I don't know. I'm thinking drop that knight back here. Then put it on the outpost attacking his bishop. He could start pushing his pawns trying to attack my bishop. Oh man, is the game just going to end here with his time just running out? Okay, one last look at this. So his obvious move is to capture, recapture the bishop there. What do we do? Do I waste time maneuvering well, not wasting time, but do I take the time now to move back here and then up here? And if I do that, would he give up a rook? Then I capture. He captures with his queen. Would he exchange for knight and pawn for his rook? And then the problem is going to be if his pawn starts pushing down the board and tries to close out my bishop. Anyway, now he's really dropping down in time here. All right. Yeah, sorry it's kind of boring now if my opponent is just not making a move, and it looks like they have some connection issues. All right. Well, down to almost 2 minutes. It's a shame if we don't get to continue. Anyway, feel free to leave any comments. I always enjoy hearing what viewers and subscribers have to say. You can leave good or bad comments, whatever you want. You won't hurt my feelings. Also, like and subscribe to support the channel if you haven't already. I'm up to about 1,400 and some subscribers, so the channel has just slowly been growing. Hopefully it'll continue. And also let me know, leave a comment if there are any specific types of videos you would like to see in the future. I tried to start a series of videos with like a playlist with games of famous players. So I started a Bobby Fischer playlist, a Capablanca playlist, and a Tall playlist. So if there are any other players that you would like to see games of in the future, let me know. Probably in the future I'll do a Paul Morphy playlist. All the great players, maybe Kasparov, Karpov, Botvinnik. So that'll be something interesting. You can go to my channel in the future and you'll be able to pick out a player who you like, or somebody you want to check out some of their games. And definitely that can help you play better. Pick a chess hero and just try and learn from them. Maybe copy their style if you like their style and their games. All right, either this guy is trying to psych me out and he's going to let the clock tick down to the very end and then start playing real fast, but it doesn't look like it. All right. I guess we won on time. I don't know why. I mean, it looked like they might have had a bad connection, but now it's showing they have... No, it still says very low. Well, it's saying excellent connection now, so I don't know. All right, we'll do a game review and at least look at what we have so far. Maybe they didn't like how the game was going, the direction it was taking. All right, so I'll do the game review and then we'll do a little bit of computer analysis. So game review. It looks like we both played at a 93.8% accuracy rating. And the game was just kind of even the whole way through. And the computer says we both played at a 2350 level. I mean, I guess that's possible. But Let's see here. No mistakes, no misses or blunders. Maybe the guy I was playing uses a computer to cheat, and he thought, oh, this guy, he's not making any mistakes. He must be using a computer too, and he quit. I don't know. Hopefully not. But, all right, so we both had 2350. In the opening, it says I had 94.5% accuracy, and my opponent had 95% accuracy. In the middle game, I had 93.1 accuracy, and they had 92.3. All right, so start this review. So I played D4, trying to set up the Jabava London, and they kind of play in this interesting way of, I don't know, I guess it's like a French defense kind of set up with the pawns there in the middle. And I just played in the normal Jabava London style. So it's kind of blasting through the moves here. If there's nothing interesting, it just went all the way to the end. So let me just turn on the computer analysis. And it says here that maybe black has a slight edge after that move. So it says that's a good move, but F4 would have been better. But I don't know. I didn't want to wreck my pawns like that. Huh. All right. Well, let's take a look from the beginning and analyze this. If you really want to improve your chess, definitely try to analyze. Oh, it jumped my rating up to 1720, so at least we got a new all-time high. All right, D4 and E6 here. So it says this is the Queen's Pawn opening, Harwitz defense. So now we have knight to F3, or sorry, knight to C3, and D6. So this turned into the Queen's Pawn opening Chigorin variation, but after the bishop to F4 move, we have the Jabava London, and the game continues with this move, A6, which is a decent move in the Jabava London because it prevents the knight from jumping up here and targeting this pawn along with the bishop. So a lot of times you want to play that move to stop any attack on that C pawn that is only protected by the queen at the moment. So the game continues with E3. This allows us to develop our bishop, protects and fortifies the D4 pawn and our bishop as well. And then if the bishop is ever captured, you can recapture with this pawn, and then you'll have a lockdown with these two pawns on the E5 square there. So common move in the Jabava London, the best move in the position is to attack the center pawn with the flank pawn. And here it looks like the computer recommends that we just ignore that. Develop knight to F3 or bishop. So develop the bishop or the knight. But I capture. Doesn't like that. I mean, the best thing here is to recapture, and that did help my opponent develop there. So, I don't know. Maybe I'll have to look in the Jabava London book to see if I maybe should not have made that move. But now we develop, and we don't have to worry about being attacked by, or not with that, but if I would not have gotten rid of that pawn, they could have pressed forward and attacked my bishop there. So that's the main reason I took that pawn, the C pawn. All right, so knight is developed, the best move. We develop knight to F3, although E4, they like that better, the E4 move. Because that immediately fights for the center, but I don't know, they could push, I guess, and attack my knight maybe. So they develop, and this was a good move, but they like F6 better. So if we take a look at that, F6 would be able to start targeting my bishop, And that is a common theme for white to push their F pawn and then attack black's bishop whenever their bishop develops here earlier in the game. So now they could have done that to me. Here it recommends once again that I play pawn to e4. Then they push, chasing my knight. I drop back and attack the knight. Attack the pawn with my knight. But we have this move and bishop to d2 here. And my bishop is trapped. They could knock out my bishop pair by doing that. All right, anyway, before I drag this out too far, let's go back to what actually happened in the game. We'll go back a little bit. So they pushed their pawn. I captured because I didn't want this pawn, harassing my bishop if I put my bishop on d3. So capture, it helps my opponent develop his bishop. So I start developing knight. So I'm ahead in development anyway. 4 pieces to 2. Now 4 to 3. So this move, was that a waste of time? Maybe. It says it was good, but once again, e4 would be better. So they push. Yeah, I think I needed to play e4. Once again, they're saying e4 is the best way forward here. So looks like I definitely should have played e4. All right, and here we just capture. Computer likes that move, recapture. And then we both castle. Although, here instead of castling, apparently the computer likes a4 better, gaining space over here on the queen side. But we castle, my opponent castles. The computer actually liked queen to e7, creating a queen and bishop battery. Also maybe threatening to push here and attack my bishop. So queen to e7, maybe a little bit better. But we had castling. Here I push forward. A good move, but not great. A4 once again would be a little better, gaining more space on the queen side. So rook on the half open file, usually a good maneuver. And now, apparently this is good, but a4 once again is recommended. So bishop drops back. And then I drop my knight back to e2 because it was unprotected there. And here we can reposition, target their bishop, from there drop back and then land on this outpost here. But we never made it that far in the game. So the game continues with rook centralizing. We jump forward, harassing the bishop. Bishop drops back. And now my opponent I played bishop to e5, which is best. And here, bishop to d6 was played, an inaccuracy. And I just captured. Now, apparently f4 would be better, but what could my opponent have played instead? Well, it looks like it would have been better to drop the knight back, attacking here, and then, once again, they think I should give up the bishop pair and play pawn up to f4. Let's see what happens if I actually do that, if the computer still likes it, because sometimes the computer will change its mind. No, it likes that, and it doesn't recommend me capturing here. Apparently, bishop up to f8 is the recommended move. Or g6 immediately. You kind of blunt the scope of the bishop if you push the G pawn. Then this bishop could drop back and fianchetto. Maybe after the capture here. Anyway, in the game, we had bishop to d6. I captured, and this is where the game ended. So obviously, the opponent would have to recapture here. What else could they do? That's it pretty much. So if we have capture, queen to d2 is recommended now. So queen develops, rook at e to d8, lining up on my queen, or rook to c7. But I don't know. Here I was thinking about dropping my knight back, then repositioning it up here. But man, we're going to have all these pawns rolling up through the center, I think. Rook at f to d1 is recommended. Okay, I don't want to drag the video out too long, so you get the idea. Too bad my opponent didn't play out further. Maybe they had internet connection problems. So feel free to leave any comments, like and subscribe to support the channel if you haven't already. Thank you for watching and have a super chess day.